start on the next segment on the Snopes website under the automotive section, and this one is entitled Better Business, and the little blurb about that says, "Our love of driving is only matched by the auto industry's love of our money. These legends focus on the business side of the auto world, how cars are named and marketed, and what factory secrets they contain." And so, the first legend in this section is the Honda Cog Commercial legend. And since it's a commercial, if you actually want to see the commercial, I'm sure that you can find it somewhere on YouTube, and I will try to provide a link to it in the description, so if you want to watch it, you can. So the claim is this: a complicated Honda Accord commercial was achieved without the use of computer-generated images, and this one is true. This is an example that was collected on the internet in 2003, and it says, "New Honda commercial in the UK. Very important that you understand. There are no computer graphics or digital tricks in this film. Everything you see really happened in real time, exactly as you see it. This film took 606 takes. On the first 605 takes, something usually very minor didn't work. They would then have to set the whole thing up again. The crew spent weeks shooting night and day. The film cost $6 million and took 3 months to complete, including a full engineering of the sequence. In addition, it's 2 minutes long, so every time Honda airs the film on British television, they're shelling out enough dough to keep any one of us in clover for a lifetime. Honda executives figure the ad will soon pay for itself simply in free viewings. Honda isn't paying a dime to have you watch this commercial. When the ad was pitched to senior executives, they signed off on it immediately without any hesitation, including the costs. There are 6 and only 6 handmade Accords in the world. To the horror of Honda engineers, the filmmakers disassembled 2 of them to make the film. Everything you see in the film, aside from the walls, floor, ramp, was Cog entailed months of production and design work and another several days of shooting by the London office of the Whedon Kennedy Advertising Agency before the finished product was introduced in the UK in April 2003. Most of the information presented in the email quoted above is accurate, though the number of takes required to complete the shoot was grossly exaggerated. Point 1. There are no computer graphics or digital tricks in the film. Everything you see really happened in real time, exactly as you see it. One of the more surprising things about the ad is that it was not a cheat, although it would have been much easier to fiddle the chain of events by using computer graphics. The seesaw shunt of events really did happen, and in one clean take. Whedon Kennedy staffers swear that no trick photography was used and that the final successful run-through was filmed in real time. The only voice in the ad is from Garrison Keillor, who intones at the end, "Isn't it nice when things just work?" Although it is true that special effects were eschewed in favor of live action, the commercial wasn't to read from a single take. The final result, comprised of 2 takes stitched together with a brief bit of CGI. The Honda ad was created without special effects. It was split into 2 continuous takes, only because no studio was big enough to accommodate the entire sequence. The only post-production trickery is the lighting on the car's doors at the end. The sequence of events in the advert is actually split into 2 shots. Shooting the whole thing in one go would have been too expensive. It was a damage limitation idea to snip it into 2 parts, says Rob Steiner, head of television at Whedon Kennedy, the agency responsible for the advert. Still not found the join. The first section ends, and the second one begins at the 1-minute mark, when an exhaust box rolls off to the right of the screen. Some clever editing bridges the 2 parts. Next point. The crew spent weeks shooting night and day. The film cost $6 million and took 3 months to complete, including a full engineering of the sequence. We couldn't confirm the $6 million figure. Possibly it's a misreading of the report that the entire advertising campaign cost $6 million, and news articles indicate the entire production was considerably more than 3 months in the planning. Filming was done over 4 near sleepless days in a Paris studio after 1 month of script approval, 2 months of concept drawing, and a further 4 months of development and testing. It took 5 months of production and design work before Cog was ready to shoot. The real work began in the course of a week in a Paris studio. Crews agonized through 605 takes. Next point. In addition, it's 2 minutes long, so every time that Honda airs the film on British television, they're shelling out enough dough to keep any one of us in clover for a lifetime. Honda's executives figured the ad will soon pay for itself simply in free viewings. Honda isn't paying a dime to have you watch this commercial. We couldn't find any information about how much Honda pays to air this commercial on TV. Ad rates would vary depending upon a variety of factors anyway, but the Daily Telegraph gave the total cost of the ad campaign is £6 million British pounds. As the message notes, Honda is probably more than making up for their large investment with all the publicity the commercial is generating. Since the ad broke on April 6th, visits to Honda's website have quadrupled, and calls to their contact center have tripled. Next point. When the ad was pitched to senior executives, they signed off on it immediately without any hesitations, including the costs. The corporate suits at Honda liked the idea immediately, despite the high cost of production and the fact that it was more than twice as long, and therefore twice as pricey as normal car ads. Next point. There are 6 and only 6 handmade Accords in the world. To the horror of Honda engineers, the filmmakers disassembled 2 of them to make the film. 2 handmade pre-production Accords. There were only 6 in existence in the entire world. Were in need for the exercise, one of them being ripped apart and cannibalized, to the considerable distress of Honda engineers. The 2 Honda Accords were hand-assembled because they were new models. The pre-production versions were the only ones available at the time the commercial was produced. Next point. Everything you see in the film, aside from the walls, floor, ramp, and complete Honda Accord, are parts from those 2 cars. And the articles aren't clear on this point, but it sounds like only one of the 2 handmade Accords was actually disassembled, one of them being ripped apart and cannibalized, and one stunt involving an airbag had to be dropped owing to a shortage of new Accord parts. Next point. When the ad was shown to Honda executives, they liked it and commented on how amazing computer graphics have gotten. They fell off their chairs when they found out it was for real. The big shots at Honda's world headquarters in Japan were shown Cog for the first time. Replied that yes, it was very clever, and how impressive trick photography was these days. When told that it was all real, they were astonished. In answer to the most frequently asked questions about the commercial, the sequence where the tires roll up a slope looks particularly impressive, but is very simple. Steiner says that there is a weight in each tire, and when the tire is not, the weight is displaced, and in an attempt to rebalance itself, the tire rolls up the slope. In May 2003, filmmakers Peter Fischli and David Weiss threatened legal action against Honda over similarities between the Cog Commercial and The Way Things Go, a 30-minute film they produced in 1987 involving 100 feet of physical interactions, chemical reactions, and precisely crafted chaos worthy of Rube Goldberg or Alfred Hitchcock. And this article was last updated on October 10th, 2006. So I am going to quickly go through now and see how long the next one is to decide whether or not to leave this video as it is or to stop for now. And I will confess that this one is a little longer than I would like, but I am going to read it because I am only at the 20-minute mark. So here we go. The next one is called A Fordable, and the claim is notorious criminal Clyde Barrow wrote a fan letter to Henry Ford in 1934, and this one is at the status of undetermined, which means they can't be sure if this is true or false. And the example is a picture of a letter that appears to have been written by Clyde Barrow, which says, Mr. Henry Ford, Detroit, Michigan. Dear Sir, while I still have got breath in my lungs, I will tell you what a dandy car you make. I have drove Fords exclusively when I could get away with one. For sustained speed and freedom from trouble, Ford has got every other car skinned. And even if my business hasn't been strictly legal, it don't hurt anything to tell you what a fine car you got in the V8. Yours truly, Clyde Champion Barrow. Okay, and the origins of this legend are America's first received effusive praise from motorists. Among these enthusiastic drivers was Texas resident Clyde Barrow, who, along with his female companion, Bonnie Parker, embarked that year on an infamous crime spree that would firmly establish the pair as American legends. Throughout a 2-year period from 1932 to 1934, during which Bonnie and Clyde engaged in a string of robberies in Texas and surrounding states, Clyde Barrow repeatedly stole Ford V8 automobiles at every opportunity. As the vehicle's powerful engines, combined with Clyde's superlative driving skills, enabled the Barrow gang to continually evade the pursuit of lawmen throughout the Midwest. Such was Clyde Barrow's appreciation for the Ford V8 that he supposedly penned and mailed the following laudatory letter to the company founder Henry Ford in April 1934. Mr. Henry Ford, Detroit, Michigan. Dear Sir, while I have still got breath in my lungs, I will tell you what a dandy car you make. I have drove Fords exclusively when I could get away with one. For sustained speed and freedom from trouble, the Ford has got every other car skinned, and even if my business hasn't been strictly legal, it don't hurt anything to tell you what a fine car you got in the V8. Yours truly, Clyde Champion Barrow. The letter bore a postmark indicating that it was mailed from Tulsa, Oklahoma, on 10 April 1934, and it was received by Henry Ford on 13 April 1934 at his office in downtown Detroit. Ford, assuming the letter to be real, had his secretary draft a thank you reply, which was sent to Clyde, care of General Delivery in Tulsa, although he never received it, as the Barrow gang had headed out of Tulsa by then. 75 years later, the question remains, was this letter, which is kept on display at the Henry Ford Museum, actually written by Clyde Barrow? Some skeptics have pointed out that its handwriting appears to be a much closer match to Bonnie Parker's than to Clyde's. But biographer Jeff Gowen notes that its contents and the circumstances of its mailing put its authenticity within the realm of possibility. The letter sounds like Clyde writing a fan letter to Henry Ford would have appealed to his sense of humor. The spelling and grammatical errors are appropriate to Clyde's limited because of its signature. Clyde Champion Barrow. Clyde Barrow's middle name was actually Chestnut. He impishly listed Champion as his middle name when he entered Texas State Prison at Huntsville in 1930. Also, in early April 1934, a letter purporting to be from Clyde Barrow was sent to Amon Carter, the publisher-editor of Fort Worth Star-Telegram, complaining about how that newspaper depicted Bonnie Parker in their coverage of the Barrow gang's exploits. An endnote in Kien's biography of Bonnie and Clyde indicates that he, as well as Clyde's sister, doubted the authenticity of both letters. In print and in conversation, Marie Barrow Scoma vehemently denied the letters to Amon Carter and Henry Ford were written by her brother. Well, it's fun to think they were. Marie was almost undoubtedly right. Clyde wouldn't have signed a bogus middle name to the Ford letter, and the Carter letter was mailed from the small North Texas hamlet of Decatur on a date when the Barrow gang had fled the state for Oklahoma. Still, many historians have accepted them as Clyde's handiwork. No one will ever know for certain. 1 month after the mailing of the reputed Clyde Barrow letter to Henry Ford, a quirky repetition occurred when the Ford Motor Company announced that it had received the following letter, dated 16 May 1934 and postmarked from Detroit. Hello, old pal. I've arrived here at 10 a.m. today. Would like to drop in and see you. You'll have a wonderful car. Been driving it for weeks. It's a treat to drive one. Your slogan should be, drive a Ford and watch the other cars fall behind you. I can't make any other car take a Ford's dust. Bye-bye, John Dillinger. Unlike the Barrow letter, this later missive was conclusively demonstrated to be a forgery when it was compared with earlier samples of Dillinger's handwriting. The hoax was probably based on the mistaken notion that Dillinger had been part of the gang who held up the Citizens Commercial Savings Bank in Flint, Michigan on 18 May 1934. Dillinger was later determined to be elsewhere at the time. The high quality and speed of Ford Motor days after his plaintive letter to Ford. In another eerie synchronicity, Clyde Barrow, with his partner in crime, Bonnie Parker, was killed in a firestorm of bullets from a police ambush in Louisiana. 6 weeks after his alleged letter to Ford. Unlike Dillinger, however, Clyde Barrow provided a fitting ending by dying at the wheel of a purloined Ford V8. Barbara, 184 bullet holes. Wow, you shouldn't have had a V8, Mickelson. Last updated 12 October 2009. Okay guys, so those were the last two that I'm gonna be adding tonight. So I hope you enjoyed those, and I should be uploading another video. Well, actually, another couple videos in probably about 3 or 4 days, which will put us on probably Sunday or Monday, I would say. Yeah, probably Monday, because I haven't